Bennett's house, front gate, evening. The storm has passed, but the neighborhood is wrecked. Houses splintered, windows shattered, streets drowned in water. Bennett's house stands tall, scarred but intact. Its walls drip with rain, its frame unshaken. Karen, 40s sharp, overdressed even in mud, stomps across the soggy ground, heels sinking with every step. She clutches a crumpled paper like a weapon. A small crowd of neighbors trails behind her, pale and broken from loss. Karen, you're paying $10 million. She jabs the paper at Bennett's chest. Karen, guaranteed. Your house survived while ours are gone. Clearly you caused this. Bennett, late 30s, scarred knuckles, still raw from pulling survivors out of floodwaters, doesn't flinch. His jaw tightens, his eyes tired but sharp. Bennett, calm, measured. You're blaming me for a hurricane? Karen smirks, stepping closer, her perfume clashing with the stench of floodwater. Karen, don't play dumb. The board decided your house messed with the storm path. That's why every home is gone except yours. And now you're liable. The crowd murmurs. Some avert their eyes. Others watch in silence, desperate for someone to blame. Bennett scans their faces, his neighbors, the same people he pulled from the water hours ago. His fists clench, but his voice stays controlled. Bennett, Karen, I built this house with my own hands. After serving 10 years overseas, it stood because I built it strong, not because I control nature. Karen's lips curl in a sneer. Karen, that's exactly what someone guilty would say. She raises her phone, screen glowing like a threat. Karen, guaranteed. Either you pay, or I call the cops. I'll make sure they charge you with federal disaster fraud. The word hits him like a blow. Fraud. Jail. $10 million. The neighbors shift nervously, their grief turning into suspicion. Bennett glances at his truck parked nearby, water still dripping from its frame. Inside it, a waterproof case rests on the seat. His lips twitch with the faintest smile. Karen notices. Karen, snapping. What's so funny? Bennett steps closer, lowering his voice just enough to sting. Bennett, before you make that call, are you sure? You want the world to see what's on that footage? Karen freezes. Her finger hovers over the screen. Her confidence falters just for a second. Karen, footage? You're bluffing. Bennett lets the silence stretch. The crowd leans in, curiosity overtaking doubt. Finally, Bennett leans in, his voice steel. Bennett, I don't bluff. Not when it's the truth. Karen's smile cracks, but she masks it quickly, turning back to the crowd. Karen, don't believe him. This man is dangerous. He used tricks, machines, whatever to save his house while yours crumbled. He owes you. The neighbors waver, their grief turning into anger again. The tension thickens, like the air before another storm. Bennett's eyes stay locked on Karen's, unblinking. The battle has begun. Fade out. Flooded street, night. The street glistens under broken street lamps, floodwater reflecting the pale light. The crowd shifts nervously as the distant wail of sirens cuts through the silence. Two police cruisers splash into view, red and blue lights bouncing off the water. Karen straightens like royalty, her voice dripping with triumph. Karen, perfect timing. Officers, over here. The cruisers stop in front of Bennett's gate. Two uniforms step out, crisp, too crisp. Their movement stiff, like bad actors in costume. One is tall and broad, the other short and wiry. Their eyes skim the crowd, but never meet anyone's gaze. Karen, pointing at Bennett. That's him. He caused the destruction of our homes and refuses to pay damages. Arrest him immediately. The tall officer nods stiffly, his voice flat, rehearsed. Tall officer. Sir, you need to come with us now. Bennett studies their uniforms. The badges glint wrong. Not the county issue he knows. His gut twists. He doesn't move. Instead, he raises his voice for the neighbors to hear. Bennett, before I go anywhere, why don't you show us your IDs? The short officer stiffens, glances at his partner. Silence. Karen's face flashes panic, but she covers it fast. Karen, don't question authority. This man thinks he's above the law. Just take him. The crowd murmurs uneasily. A neighbor whispers loud enough. Neighbor, Why won't they show ID? The tall officer's jaw tightens. His hand hovers near his belt, but there's no gun, just an empty holster. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Bennett lifts the waterproof case from his truck, his voice cutting through the tension. Bennett, these cameras recorded everything, including the moment you two stepped out of that cruiser. If you're real cops, you won't mind proving it. If you're not, then Karen just committed another crime. The crowd erupts and whispers. Doubt grows. Eyes turn from Bennett to Karen. Karen's mask cracks. Her tone sharpens, desperate. Karen, don't listen to him. He's manipulating you. He built some secret machine in that house. That's why it survived. He owes you everything. Bennett steps forward, his calm ablaze against her chaos. Bennett, enough. Karen, you brought fake cops onto a federal disaster site. And guess what? I know the real sheriff personally. The crowd shifts. Some nod, recalling Bennett's military past. And then, from the distance, another set of sirens. Deeper, louder, the kind that shakes the ground. Real police subs turn the corner, headlights cutting through the mist. The fake officers freeze. The crowd gasps in relief. Karen whirls around, her face draining of color. For the first time, her authority wavers. Karen, shaking but loud. No, don't listen. He's dangerous. Arrest him. The fake officers glance at each other, panic flashing. Their cover is slipping fast. The stage is set. The storm of truth is about to break. Fade out. Flooded street. Continuous night. The floodwater ripples as two sheriff subs roar into the block. Their deeper sirens drown out the fake cruisers. The crowd erupts with relief. Whispers spread. That's the sheriff. The fake officers stiffen, trapped. Sheriff, 50s, broad-shouldered, eyes sharp, steps out. His boots splash in the water as he strides forward. His gaze lands on Bennett first, like two old soldiers recognizing each other. Sheriff, you all right, son? Bennett, been better, but glad you showed up. Karen pounces, desperate, her voice trembling but loud. Karen, Sheriff, thank God you're here. Arrest this man. He's the reason our homes are gone. He's fine. Officers tried to bring him in, but he resisted. The sheriff eyes the officers. He frowns. Sheriff, funny. Never seen you two before. What precinct did you say you're from? The fake officers stammer. Nothing comes out. The sheriff's deputies move in, checking uniforms, belts, the empty holsters. Sheriff, impersonating law enforcement during a state emergency. That's a felony. The crowd gasps. All eyes swing to Karen. Her face collapses. She shakes her head violently. Karen, no, they're real. They just... Bennett cuts her off, his voice sharp, steady. Bennett, Sheriff, the cameras caught everything. Kara hired them, and the footage also shows her slipping fake HOA notices into mailboxes. The night before the hurricane, the sheriff turns to Karen, his expression stone. Sheriff, is that true? Karen's lips tremble. She lashes out, desperate. Karen, you all saw it. His house perfect while yours are ruined. Doesn't that seem suspicious? The sheriff narrows his eyes at Bennett. Sheriff, how'd your house survive, son? Bennett takes a deep breath. The crowd leans in, waiting. Bennett, because I built it myself. Hurricane-proof. And I documented every step with military-grade engineering. Silence. Then Bennett drops the reveal. Bennett, Suinteed. Before this, I wasn't just some homeowner. I was a structural engineer. For FEMA. Gasps explode. Neighbors murmur. FEMA. Engineer. Karen staggers back, pale. Karen. Whispering broken. FEMA. The crowd ripples with realization. Their doubt crumbles. Bennett's voice hardens, eyes locked on Karen. Bennett, you wanted to blame me for the hurricane? The truth is, I spent years designing homes to survive storms exactly like this. My house didn't stand because of luck. It stood because I knew how to build it. Karen spirals, voice climbing into hysteria. Karen, no, he's lying. He has some secret machine inside. Search his house, you'll find it. The crowd shifts, pity in their eyes. And then, a small figure steps forward. Sarah, 8, Mr. Reynolds' granddaughter. Mud still stains her clothes. She tugs the sheriff's sleeve, her voice small but clear. Sarah, he saved me. When the water came, he carried me on his shoulders. If it wasn't for him, I'd be gone too. The crowd falls silent. Eyes soften, shifting from Bennett to Karen. Karen's mask shatters. She trembles, cornered. The sheriff's voice cuts like steel. Sheriff, Karen, you've lied, forged, and endangered this community. And now, you're done. Karen's knees buckle. Deputies move to cuff her wrists. The crowd erupts, some cheering, some crying, all united. But as the cuffs click shut, Karen leans close to Bennett. Her voice is a venomous whisper. Karen, you think you've won? Wait until you see who's really behind this. Bennett freezes. A chill runs down his spine. The sheriff catches the look on his face, frowning. Sheriff, what did she say? Before Bennett can answer, headlights cut through the mist. Sleek, black SUVs glide into the neighborhood, silent, predatory. The crowd hushes, uneasy. Karen's smirk creeps back, even with cuffs biting her wrists. Karen, see? I told you. He's the one in trouble, not me. Fade out. The crowd falls silent as three black SUVs glide into the neighborhood. Engines hum low, tinted windows hiding shadows. They don't look like rescue vehicles. They look like predators. The sheriff stiffens, hand hovering near his radio. His deputies instinctively close ranks. The lead SUV stops inches from the floodwater. A man in a gray suit, 50s, polished, cold smile, steps out. His shoes gleam untouched by mud, as if the storm never touched him. Gray suit. Mr. Bennett, we need to have a word. Bennett narrows his eyes, voice steady. Bennett, and you are? The man flashes a badge too quickly. Not FEMA, not county. Gray suit. Homeland Security. This is a matter of national concern. Karen barks out a laugh, her voice hoarse but triumphant. Karen, see? He's the one in trouble, not me. The sheriff steps forward, tone like steel. Sheriff, funny. I know Homeland boys. Know them would. Show up in unmarked cars without calling me first. The gray suit ignores him. His eyes lock on Bennett. Gray suit. Your house withstood a Category 5 hurricane. That's impossible without technology. We need to know what you're hiding inside those walls. The crowd stirs, whispers spreading like wildfire. Technology? Secret machine? Doubt flickers again. Bennett steadies his breathing. Then he raises the waterproof case. Bennett, if you want answers, you'll have to see the footage first. The gray suit tilts his head, amused. Gray suit. Then let's take a look, shall we? He motions to his men in suits. They fan out silently, surrounding the crowd. But Bennett doesn't hand it over. Instead, he opens the case. Inside, the hard drive gleams under floodlights. Bennett, this footage doesn't go to you. It goes to the people. And the law. He slots the drive into a portable projector. A flickering image blasts across the side of his house. The crowd gasps. On screen, the hurricane winds tearing roofs apart. Bennett hauling children from floodwaters. And then, crystal clear footage of Karen in a boardroom 2 nights before the storm. Around her sit men in suits. The very same men standing here now. A recorded voice echoes. Unmistakable. The gray suit himself. Recorded voice. We'll use the disaster to clean the land. Insurance won't cover them. FEMA will take months. Then we buy it cheap. The crowd erupts. Shouts of rage, disbelief, betrayal. The sheriff's deputies move instantly, surrounding the SUVs. Guns drawn. Orders barked. The gray suit doesn't flinch, though his jaw tightens. Karen crumbles, pale as ash. Karen, you said it wouldn't come out. Bennett cuts her off, voice sharp. Bennett, it's out. Everyone sees it now. This wasn't about me. It was about your board, trying to steal land from families who lost everything. The sheriff's voice booms, echoing over the chaos. Sheriff, you're all under arrest. Conspiracy, fraud, attempted land theft during a federal emergency. His deputies move fast, pinning the men in suits. The crowd surges closer, some shouting, some crying, some cheering. Karen sobs, collapsing under her own weight. Karen, you don't understand. They promised me power. They promised I'd run the valley. Bennett locks eyes with her, steady as stone. Bennett, You thought you were untouchable. But storms don't destroy everything. Sometimes they reveal the truth. The sheriff puts a hand on Bennett's shoulder. Sheriff, son, this valley owes you. Bennett scans the faces of his neighbors, tired, bruised, but united. Bennett, I didn't fight for this country just to let thieves. Take what we built. This land belongs to its people. Not the board. Not Karen. Not anyone else. The crowd erupts in cheers. For the first time, justice echoes louder than grief. Karen glares at him, cuffed and broken, but her voice hisses one last threat. Karen, you think it ends here? You don't know who's really behind this. Her smirk fades as deputies drag her away. The board members are shoved into SUVs, their empire collapsing. The camera lingers on Bennett, standing firm beside his home. The only one still standing after the storm. Bennett VO. Storms destroy houses, but not rights, not the law, and not the truth. The crowd cheer rises into the night as the screen fades out. The end.